Greetings, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. Let me adjust my screen here a little bit. Sorry, should have had that done already. So today, what I want to talk about treating your career change like a job change. And it's something that I run into, I want to say every week. I have several people who I talk to who are in the middle of a job change. They're in transition, they've lost their job, and they said, well, I want to do a career change. And we ended up having a discussion about that. And what I've come away with from these discussions is that a lot of people treat their career change like it's a job change. And let me give you a few things about that, about why you can't do that. First of all, I asked them, what are they doing to try and find a new career? And they say, well, they're looking on Indeed. And everything says that they need to have this experience. So that's the first problem. You're not going to find a new career unless it's a very low-level position, entry-level position on Indeed, because they're going to want people who are applying for jobs who have the experience. Otherwise, they would just take anybody. So that is the first thing, is that you cannot do a career change by looking on Indeed and simply applying for a job. So that then begs the next question. Well, then how does somebody do a career change without having had experience? Well, the career change process is different than the job change process. And for that reason, it takes a little bit longer, and there are more steps to it, obviously. So when you have a job change, you already know what you're doing. You're a salesperson, you're an accountant, you're an administrative assistant, an engineer. Whatever you do, you already do it. You're simply looking for a new place to do it, a new place to hang your hat. The only thing you need to do is to find a place to do it. Indeed works, networking works better, but that's the only thing you need to do is just find a place. The difference is when you have a career change, you are looking to change because there is something about your career that you're in currently or that you just left that you don't like. And you need to figure out first, what is it that you want more of or less of in your next career? What weren't you getting in your current career that you wanted more of? Or what was there too much that you didn't buy into in your current career that you want less of in your next career? So that's the first thing. That's different than a job change. You don't worry about that stuff. So knowing why you're changing is important. The next thing is knowing about things like your values. What do you stand for? What do you want there to be in this next job about how the company operates and how you exist in this other environment? Okay, so that's important too. That's kind of part of about the first thing with wanting more of or less of. But being aware of what your values are is really important, because usually when people are looking for a new career, it's being driven by values. There's some values that aren't being honored, and they want more of those values. The next thing is you need to figure out, well, what could I do? What could you do for a job? And so one of the ways to figure out what that thing is that you could do, is to understand what do you like to do. And frequently people think about, well, I can do Excel, and I can do publisher software, and I can do all these things. They think about what they like to do in terms of their skills at their current position. But there are lots of things that we do in life around a variety of things, personal and professional, that could point us in the direction of things that we might like to do in our next career. And we have to figure out on a very granular level, what is it about these things that we enjoy doing them, that engages us, that give us what's called flow. Have you ever done something and time almost stood still, that you were so engrossed in it and it was so filling you up in the moment that time kind of went away? And the next thing you know, maybe an hour passed or a half hour passed because you were so engrossed, you were so engaged in this activity. Those are the types of things that we want to figure out what you really like to do. We also want to know what you don't like to do, because you don't want more of that in a new career. So getting to a very granular level is important to know what you might do in your next career. Another reason why you just can't apply for it online on Indeed, because you don't know what that is. You don't know what these things are that really excite you. So doing some journaling and then understanding what it is about these other things is really important. So then the next thing people will think about, well, like, I'm concerned about, making a change because I don't know if I'll like it. And that is really probably one of the biggest reasons people don't make a change, because they're afraid of making a jump into something that they don't like, not knowing and giving up what they know they have, even though they might not like it anyway, but at least it's a paycheck. And so what I recommend people to do is to don't just have one option when you're going to change careers. You're going to want to have 3 options. Because if the one thing that you've bet everything on doesn't work out, you're screwed. But if you have 3 things that could work out, and you do a little bit of investigation on 3 things, I bet one of those 3 will work out. So to reduce the risk of career change, which is probably the biggest thing that holds people back, is the risk. You go and you research 3 different things which could work out. They could be something related to what you do now, something that is just a little bit different than what you do now, and something that is like just way out there that if you had time and money were of no consequence, you might do. So come up with 3 different things, 3 different flavors, and then researching those and trying to get some experience in those on the side. Very low risk experience. Things like job shadowing, things like side projects, things like part-time work in these areas. That will not only give you the experience that you need, but it will also help you understand what it's like in the day-to-day of these roles. Because you just don't want to take somebody's word that, oh, you would love working, as a payroll clerk. Well, you don't know that, and you don't want to all of a sudden give up everything you have to do that if you don't know what it's like. And so by job shadowing, getting side hustles, doing part-time work, you're able to see what the day-to-day is like to really know if you would like it. It's kind of like the person who opens a restaurant because they love, restaurant culture and stuff, and then they realize that running a restaurant is a lot different than being a restaurant patron. You want to minimize your risk of choosing the wrong career by understanding what the day-to-day is like. So those are the reasons why, I think there are 4 or 5 reasons in there, a job change is much different than a career change. And that's the reason why a career change takes longer. If you are in the middle of a career change, or if you're in a job change right now and you really don't want to go back and you don't have the luxury of time and money to do a full-fledged career change, just get a job that gets you by. Just get the job that you can, even if it's back in your old industry, and then start plotting your career change. Do not get too comfortable in what you do in your job, because what I see people happening is that they will go and they will start a new job and they'll get all comfortable in it, and all of a sudden they don't have the angst of being unemployed, and something happens on the line and they lose their job again, and then they're stuck and they're still not able to do a career change. So I would encourage you, if a career change is something which you're really serious about, but you don't have the luxury of time or money, to find a job that pays the bills and then start working on your career change. And that is it. I hope you found this helpful. I enjoyed talking with you today, and talk again soon. Take care.